at 6. We're tracking Isaias, a flood of trouble in the Carolinas, the hurricane making landfall, crashing the coast. Bringing whipping winds and relentless rain, the dangerous conditions people are waking up to this morning.
Isaias expected to head to New England. I'm tracking when you can expect the worst.
Plus, the prep's already underway here in Massachusetts. We have Team 7 coverage.
Also breaking a shocking scene in Lawrence. An officer run over and shots fired. Suspects are on the run.
This is 7 News Today in New England.
We're tracking Isaias.
Oh, my.
Isaias packing a punch, sparks flying in Wilmington, North Carolina. The storm leaving thousands without power and sparking several house fires through the night.
And from fire to flood, homes surrounded by water. This is in Myrtle Beach. The storm surge flooding neighborhoods along the North Carolina coast. And Isaias making landfall as a hurricane in the Carolinas just before midnight, downgrading overnight, and soon it will start heading north. And in New England, we'll see wind and rain as crews are prepping for flooding. Good Tuesday morning at 6 a.m. Thank you for joining us. I'm Brandon Gano.
And I'm Elena Pinto. Our area could start feeling the impact of Isaias in just a couple of hours or so. So we have Team 7 coverage to help you get out the door, from how the Bay State is preparing, including the T, to the latest on where the storm is right now. Here's Chris.
Right now, it is in North Carolina, moving into Virginia. Max sustained winds of 70 miles an hour. Notice on the north side of the storm system, all of these red polygons, the bright red polygons showing up. Those are tornado warnings. And when you get along the track and then to the east of it, you do have the risk of a lot of spin to the atmosphere and the production of isolated tornadoes and damaging wind gusts. So we're going to have to watch that as it passes west of us later on today. The timing of that beginning around 4 to 5 p.m., lingering through about 8 p.m. There's going to be about a 3 to 4 hour window where we do have the risk of severe thunderstorms later on today. Tropical storm warning up across the Commonwealth. You have winds gusting 40 to 55 miles an hour. These are widespread gusts. Now, in any heavier thunderstorm, it'll be capable of dragging down even some localized stronger wind gusts in excess of 60 miles per hour, and that would be the most concerning for the possibility of localized tree damage and some scattered power outages moving in. You can see that arc of severe weather breaking out through Hartford, Connecticut by about 4 p.m. And these storms are going to be racing off to the north-northeast at like 50 to 60 miles per hour. They can quickly spin up, either damaging wind gusts or isolated tornadoes. So really going to have to watch that time frame between about 5 and 8 p.m. For more on that and what to expect, over to meteorologist Jackie Layer.
Thanks, Chris. Yes, with that latest track of Tropical Storm Isaias on the eastern side of that track, yes, we're under that threat for the strongest wind gusts. On the opposite side of that track, on the western side, that is where we're seeing the heaviest rain. So the heaviest rain likely off towards our north and west. We still have that severe storm threat looking ahead towards later on this afternoon into the evening. Like you had mentioned, Chris, especially around 5 p.m. all the way through at least 8 p.m. That slight risk across most of our viewing area, also including southernmost parts of New Hampshire as well. And also some of those storm impacts that we've been talking about over the last 24 hours. We're keeping an eye on those torrential downpours. Strong winds, definitely the main threat with this system, and a tornado threat still moderate as we look ahead towards later on this afternoon and evening. We're also looking at coastal concerns and coastal flooding, especially around high tide later on 7 p.m. to 11 p.m. this evening for the south coast. Also for the New Hampshire seacoast too. For the New Hampshire seacoast, we're likely tracking the potential for some beach erosion as well as some minor splashover around, say, 10 p.m. to 2 a.m. around their high tide as well. Or more details with the rest of that 7 day coming up.
New from overnight, streets turned into rivers in South Carolina. This person in Garden City taking a dangerous drive, trying to get through a flooded road, and the hurricane doing some damage too in Myrtle Beach as it stormed ashore as a Category 1. The strong winds damaging the roof of a pier, and it won't be long until that wind and rain reaches the Bay State. It has people on the coast bracing for impact. So we want to head out live to 7's John Coco. He's in Fairhaven this morning with more on the preparations being taken there.
As with any storm, people need to make sure that they're prepared. We spoke with a number of local boaters who are making sure that they're getting ready.
So we'll tie the boat down, make sure it doesn't go up against the dock.
Boat owners in Massachusetts getting ready as Isaias makes its way north.
If we get some gusts to 70 miles an hour, you know, there would be maybe some damage to some aspects of people's boats and things breaking loose and beating on boats.
Isaias is tracking over the western edge of the state. Downpours are expected for the area, but the storm could also bring potentially damaging winds and minor coastal flooding. Utility companies like National Grid and Eversource have already called in hundreds of crews to assist in tree removal and power line repair.
We do anticipate that we probably will have some outages, scattered outages throughout our service territory here in Massachusetts, and we want our customers to also anticipate that potentially as well.
For those anticipating the powerful storms, they say they think they'll be okay this time.
Yeah, I'm a meteorologist, so I am looking forward to it. So, wilder the better for me.
But they know when it comes to New England weather, you have to be ready for anything.
Mother Nature can change at any minute, so, you know, we're always concerned. You don't want to lose your boat, especially it's a tough market to replace it.
So right now, people are watching and waiting to see what this storm may bring. We're live in Fairhaven. John Coco, 7 News, Today New England.
John, thank you. And the MBTA also taking precautions to avoid flooding. Now, before you head out for the door for your morning commute, 7's Michael Yoshida is live at the Aquarium T-Stop with the details for us this morning. Michael.
Hey, good morning, Brandon. The MBTA taking no chances when it comes to potential flooding during today's storm. Crews will be installing a flood prevention system here at the Long Wharf entrance to the Aquarium T-Stop. Take a look. Here's photos from last year. You can see crews installing this system. It's called a Tiger Dam. You can see those tubes there. They're being filled with water to act as barriers to prevent water from getting down into the subway system. And this is an area that has had issues in the past. Take a look. Here's video from 2 years ago, back in 2018. And nor'easter hitting this area. You can see high tide as well as heavy rains and wind causing issues with water flooding the underground area of this T-Stop. Obviously, the T doesn't want that to happen this year, so the crews will be out here, we're told, starting around 9 a.m. to implement this system to try and keep the ride safe for everyone later today. We're live in Boston this morning. Michael Yoshida, 7 News, Today in New England.
And we will continue to track the storm as it works its way up the coast. Stay with us on air, online, and on our 7 News mobile and tablet apps.
But right now it's time for Fast Check Traffic at 6:07. Here's Pollock Sunny. How's it looking out there?
Good morning. It's actually starting off pretty calm out there. Not too many issues on the roads. Taking a look at the Zachem and the Lever Connector. Things moving very nicely. So you're not going to have any serious issues out there. The one thing to mention, do want to take you up north to West Concord this morning. We do have a fallen tree on 62. So just be aware the area between Harrington Ave and Old Stowe Road. That area is not closed anymore. You will only have one lane moving. So just be careful in that area. Otherwise, everything else moving very nicely closer to us. The Pike, also Route 1 in Saugus, looking good out there. The expressway starting to pick up just a little bit right by Granite Ave. Nothing too crazy, though. Probably about 2 miles worth of delays.
Breaking news from Lawrence this morning. A police officer run over and pinned while trying to catch some criminals. This chaotic scene starting off as a chase and ended with shots fired. The search now on for the suspects involved. 7's Carrie Corrado is live at the scene this morning with what we know so far. Carrie.
Brandon, good morning. I want to start off saying that officer is okay. He was taken to the hospital with a serious leg and foot injury. But behind me is the area that police were focused on. This is where it all happened around 11:45 last night. Springfield Street in South Lawrence. Police say this all started when officers responded to a call for someone breaking into a home. An officer spotted a car trying to take off, and that car did hit and pin the officer, according to police. A second officer was there, fired his weapon in the direction of the car as it was speeding away. That getaway car did soon crash not far away, and police arrested one person in that car, and they are still looking for more people at this time. We're live in Lawrence this morning. Carrie Corrado, 7 News, Today New England.
Also breaking overnight, a deadly stabbing under investigation. This is in Roxbury. A man was stabbed and rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. Boston police and EMS responding to the Clifford playground last night. Police have not said if any arrests have been made.
We're following more news today, and this morning we're getting a look at new video of the arrest of George Floyd. His last moments shown through an officer's body camera. Juliana is back in the newsroom with more.
Elena, the deadly arrest of George Floyd sparked nationwide protests and a movement against police brutality. And now this newly released video shows just how much Floyd was struggling and pleading with officers minutes before his death. We do want to warn you, the video may be disturbing to some viewers.
Damn, man.
Stay in the car. Let me see your other hand.
I'm sorry.
Let me see your other hand.
Please,
Both hands.
do nothing.
Hands up right now.
New body camera footage obtained by thedailymail.com capturing the deadly arrest of George Floyd in Minneapolis back in May. You can hear Floyd begging officers not to shoot.
Please don't shoot me. Please, man.
I'm not going to shoot you. Step out and face away.
I'm going to get out of here, man. Please don't shoot me, man.
He repeatedly tells officers he is claustrophobic.
I'm claustrophobic, man.
Stand up.
I'm claustrophobic.
Stay on your feet and face the car door.
Before the officers wrestle him to the ground.
I'll grab that.
Jesus Christ.
At one point, you can hear an officer tell him he's okay.
Please, man.
Relax.
I can't breathe.
You're doing fine. You're talking fine. Deep breath.
I can't breathe.
The footage is from the body cams of former officers Thomas Lane and J. Alexander King. The two were the first to the scene after police received a complaint that Floyd allegedly tried to use a counterfeit $20 bill. Officer Derek Chauvin keeping his knee on Floyd's neck during the arrest. Floyd died minutes later.
Derek Chauvin has been arrested and charged with Floyd's murder, while the 3 other former officers have been charged with aiding and abetting murder. Brandon, Elena.
Juliana, thank you. Still ahead on 7 News today in New England, an explosive thrown at a church in Weymouth. Catholic leaders calling it a troubling trend of violence against churches.
And saying sorry. Senator Ed Markey is apologizing, accused of not taking action to help a family whose son died at the hands of police.
And our EIS coverage continues. The tropical storm moving up the East Coast, and the Bay State is in its path.
Brandon, expect some gusty winds from that, as well as tropical downpours and even the risk of isolated severe thunderstorms. Timing of those ahead of the forecast.